to get started. Today, we're entering a fantastic series. I know it's going to be a blessing. I mean, first of all, a blessing for me, blessing for everybody else. I think it's notable that I was thinking this morning, I've been a father for 26 years and I don't know it all. I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day. I do believe that because I'm a father of five young men and that I have been on this journey for 26 years, that I am uniquely adept at leading the discussion. I feel comfortable in leading this discussion. But again, I don't feel comfortable in leading this discussion because in any way, shape, or form that I feel like I know it all. And as I perused these different books that we were contemplating on bringing to the ministry, something overwhelming hit me, which was, man, I wish I had these books when I was a young father. Um, they just weren't available. These types of guides just they weren't available and they weren't this practical back then. But the blessing is that we have them now. I was thinking about um hold on, let me get my young men here. Hold on, y'all. James, why did you get lost? You just going to get your brothers. If they don't come, you got to come back. Jared, Chase, I'm teaching. Y'all got to come. It's not optional. Y'all come. Mm. So there's a young man that was born not too far from here that was born to poverty, born to stark poverty. And there's been many studies done about those who grow up in very dense environments. We used to call them the ghetto. Now we call it the hood. But there's ghettos all around the world, that's for sure. And they've done studies all around the world about how this density, this living on top of each other, and this stark poverty is is heavily correlated to crime, to violence, to criminal behavior, and a lot of it is due to just you're just lashing out. You're lashing out you, because of proximity. You're proximate to so much despair, and we know that the answer to this is education. It's emotional learning so that we can be what we now call emotionally intelligent. And we already know this. The unfortunate part is that through presidents like Reagan and then later Biden, it's researched. You can research it through leaders like these. Unfortunately, the the antidote became jail. And it's just so unfortunate because we already knew and we've already seen how it serves us that when we educate our young, when we educate those that are impoverished, when we give tools of emotional stability and activities and artistic freedom and artistic um, outlooks, we already know that this is the solution for the depravity that they find themselves in. And we also know that the depravity that they find themselves in was by design. The young man in Houston, back to him, he, he was finding himself constantly in trouble. And if it were not for a program, a way out program called Job Corps, he would be certainly, by his own admission, he would be dead or certainly serving some long sentence. That young man is Joe Foreman, the heavyweight champion, two-time heavyweight champion of the world. And because of this program, Job Corps, he met his his mentor and boxing trainer, who literally changed his life. And the tool that he used, the athletic tool, was boxing, but when you experience George Foreman's story, the true tool was education, was intellect. Look, son, there is a better way. There's a way to fuel your anger besides crime, criminalistic behavior, or violence. So we're going to talk about the state that we find ourselves in now, right? So that was because that was in the 50s and 60s. And but what about now? How are we doing now? So let's get into it. I put together a little slide. Let's see. Y'all with me? I see you, Joy. Hey, Sister Brown, you out there? All right, thank you, brother. How you doing, Sister Brother Brown? Y'all out there? Sister Brown, it's got you like you're on hold. I don't know. I don't even know what that means. Hey, why did it do me like that? All right. All right. All right. What do y'all see? Can you see this a blue screen right now?
Yes. Blue. Is it dark blue? Okay.
Yeah.
We see the survival guide.
All right. Cool. All right. So this is the survival guide for teen boys. First, we want to talk about some stats that's going on. Our teens are certainly in crisis. Many of our teens are in crisis as we sit right now. Most of us in this ministry are supremely blessed. Um, we're not, from what I'm hearing, we're not necessarily dealing with the crisis that I'm gonna, the problem that I'm gonna show. But I'm sure that there's someone in our family, there's someone in our friend group, or someone even co-workers, there's someone in our circle that could benefit from these discussions. So please invite them. This is going to be an overview, so this gives us an opportunity to kind of invite them, and I'll make the YouTube video available so you can share this too. But when you look at our teens, 61%, um, 61% is the number that we want to land on, and this is eighth grade drug use increase from 2016 to 2020. I think we could call this the COVID effect. There's something very striking that has been going on amongst our teens where we're turning to drugs to fix whatever maladies mentally or physically that they find themselves in. Some more. 62% of teenagers in 12th grade have abused alcohol, and 50% of teenagers have misused a drug at least once. Startling stats. If we look at Texas, so we look at our home state, 7% report using drugs in the last month. This study was done in 2020. That was 177,000 of our youth. Among those youth, 83% report using marijuana in the last month. I want us to particularly take a look at and talk to our sons. This is a series about our sons right now, but even our daughters. I want us to really speak to them about this marijuana use, because now the marijuana is being laced with fentanyl. So that one hit of marijuana now could literally cost you your life. So I want us to be aware of that. More stats. 9% of all 12 to 17-year-olds use alcohol in the last month. And then there's 1.4% less likely to use alcohol than the average American in their age group. So that's good. 2.5% of all 12 to 17-year-olds met the criteria for IDUD in the last year. And 1.44% met the criteria for AUD in the last year. All right. Come out of this. Just wanted to touch a few of the problems that face our teens that are unique to this particular time, a time such as this. Because I think a lot of times we as fathers particularly, we know when we were teenagers. And so we have this tendency to say, okay, I went through it too. Well, not necessarily. These teens are going through something very unique right now, and it's going to take some different parenting, perhaps, than what we were met with. The core of it is the same. The core of it is love and joy and patience. But I'm just talking about the unique problems necessitate some unique solutions that we should discuss. What do you think about that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I think you're spot on. It is different. Just how different is the question, and I think I think it warrants a very good discussion. So I'm interested to hear how it is different, how we can make a difference. It might even cause myself to rethink how I view the world, and possibly rethink some of the decisions that I made, or maybe see how things were going, things that I might have missed that could have better informed me. But you're spot on.
Bless you, man. And then that last stat, 4,777 ODs from drug abuse in 2019. Another crisis point, violent crime. So 1 in 14 violent crime arrests in 2020 was owned by adolescents. And then look at that next number, 30% of homicide victims, there's an increase in homicide victims of 30% in 2020 that were teenagers. I think this is another effect of COVID, this increase in homicides amongst our teens, 30% there. And then you kind of look inside these numbers. It's just telling. So you kind of look at the different crimes, the arrest per 100,000 person in a group. You see this violent crime number here. You got this ages 15 to 17. The blessing is that is here you see is coming down in that 15 to 17 group. 21 to 24 group looks like it's kind of going up. And then,
hey, quick question.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
When you start seeing the increases or the decreases, what kind of time period are they looking over?
So we have data up until 2020, and
Okay.
so they stretch it from the way it's aggregated. Berlin is I'm really concentrating 2016 to 2020 with a focus, of course, on the most recent data that we have, which was 2020. Is that answer?
Yes, and I guess yes, because when you think about when COVID hit, when we were at our heights,
Right.
I know personally what our kids thought about online learning, what they thought about being stuck in the house or not being able to see friends, et cetera, et cetera. So it's just causing me to think. But I'm driving, so I can't look at the charts, pull up on the charts in close detail. So,
That's all right.
You got it.
All right, thanks for reminding me that. I'll be even more descriptive then. So when we look at arrests per 100,000, when we're talking about murder, then in that age group of 21 to 24, there's an uptick. So while the rate for young adults ages 21 to 24 was 85% above the rate for 15 to 17-year-olds. And then you look at the 15 to 17-year-old uptick, the murder arrest rate for young adults ages 18 to 20 was twice the rate for youth of ages 15 to 17. And then I'm kind of doing the numbers backwards, but that's okay. Since 2000, the murder arrest rate for youth ages 15 to 17 has been well below the rates for young adults age 18 to 20. So it's kind of saying the same thing, the same way. I think it's notable that while the age group of 15 to 17, there's been a flatlining of the homicides from this group. There's an uptick in homicides committed against this group. So that's notable. If we look at some of the most serious offenses, violent crimes, 32,000 arrests, murder, 930 arrests, robbery, 12,000, aggravated assault, 19,140. And this is in that cohort of 0 to 17-year-olds. All offenses in 2020, all criminal offenses, violent crime offenses, 424,300. So certainly find ourselves in a crisis, even though that crisis, like I said before, we may be blessed in that maybe that crisis is not affecting our children per se, but it's certainly affecting the children around us in our circles and in our families. So we must be in the world but not of it, right? So we need to know these things. So what's some answers, right? Some answers are going to be right in this book. We're so excited about it. You can't see it. Too bad, Verl and Lisa, y'all can't see it, but we got a video of two strapping young men enjoying the answer that's to come. All right. And the text that we're going to use is called Teen Boys Survival Guide. A Teen Boys Guide for cultivating positive attitude, develop critical thinking skills, problem solving abilities, practicing empathy and understanding towards others. It's by the author V. Godfrey. Teen Boys Survival Guide. In this guide, got some interesting interesting chapters, I think. One is going to be on developing good communication skills. I applaud the author for starting with communication. This to me it's not only a breakdown amongst our teens, it's a breakdown societally. Our discourse has gotten to the point where it is terrible. We don't seem to know how to communicate well with each other. So I'm glad that we're dealing with it for this next generation, and certainly we can learn from this book too. He also talks about grooming, and then in chapter 3 we'll deal with learning how to handle conflict in a productive and peaceful manner. And so we've dealt with in the boundaries book, and it's not it's not good to just ignore conflict. And teenagers are going to be dealing with conflict, and certainly adults are going to be dealing with conflict. So, what a blessing to be able to learn how to deal with conflict in a productive and peaceful manner as a teenager. Fantastic. We're going to also talk about developing good team working skills. We're going to have some practicing responsible decision making. And then we're going to come to, among other items, we're going to come to developing good critical thinking skills. We know that the purpose of school, the purpose of learning is really to learn how to learn, right? I mean, and so to the extent that we can develop good critical thinking skills amongst our youth, all the better we will be. All right. And we're going to be teaching about taking responsibility for our actions. Around here, we say taking your charge. Something that Queenie don't know how to do. Anyway, my bad. That's for the teenagers. All right. Chapter 10, cultivating a positive attitude. Queenie's been much better at that than she's ever been. Chapter 11, practicing empathy and understanding towards other. Oh man, I wish, Sister Brown, I wish you were on. You do this like none other. Lord, you are such an empathetic and kind spirit. You encourage us all that way. So we're going to learn about practicing empathy and understanding towards others. Maybe we'll have you teach that part. You embody that one, sis. All right. Then you'll love this one, Lisa. Boy, this one speaks to you. Developing realistic and achievable goals. I can see Lisa with her lists and her check marks. Maybe we'll have you teach that one. I don't know. Develop. God bless you.
Got it.
God bless you. You are a leader par excellence with that. Um, developing a strong worth ethic. Man, hey, Friar the Younger. Boy, it'd be great if we could get Friar the Elder to come on that develop a strong work ethic, huh? Man, that dude can work, boy.
Hey, yeah, you if you ask him, he
we got enough time.
yeah. Yeah, you take all his excuses away. Tell him I'm giving you X number of weeks before. So
That's right. Oh man, that he's got a story to tell. Um, oh, stay physically active, and then the final you laugh. Oh, okay. And then chapter 17, and the final chapter is cultivating a sense of gratitude and appreciation, which maybe that one ought to be first, but yeah, that's gonna be a fantastic way to wrap up. Cultivating a sense of gratitude and appreciation. I'm concerned about I'm forever concerned, Verl, about, of course, we did our best to raise our children in the quote unquote good neighborhoods with the good schools. I'm doing quotation marks. Um, but I always struggle with whether or not we led them to having suburban kid syndrome, right? SKS, where they don't have a sense of gratitude and appreciation. I'm just forever on guard against that. What's your? I don't know how you feel about it, but that's just something I always struggle with.
it's a concern. It's always a topic. I mean, it's interesting how you get to the topic just from simple questions, saying like, "Who are your friends?" and you find out who their friends are. You know,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
it for at least for us, it always leads back to this.
God bless you. Yeah, God bless you. What you say, Queen?
Looking through the chapters. Where's the chapters on dating and girls?
Oh,
Might have to supplement and make your own chapter.
yeah, I might
I
have to
think that's a critical
supplement.
piece that's missing.
Right. Um, I think he covers it in responsible decision making, but yeah, the author probably could have broke that out. Certainly, it deserves its own chapter. But yeah, well, we can supplement. I the some books had another book had a specific chapter on drug use, and another book had a specific chapter um on like LGBTQ um items, if you will, or issues. And it's kind of tough. I almost wanted to like use all three books, but I wouldn't do that to you. So we'll just supplement, as wifey says. Let the spirit move us. All right, I continue. So, bottom line is, don't stress. We're going to have these discussions over the next, I don't know, over the next 8 weeks or so. I'll put out a timeline as we always do, and I'll invite some folks to teach as we always do. Next week, we'll take the first path of discussion, and don't forget. So the first is going to be on communication, communication techniques, and I'll take that one. And we may even get into a little bit about hygiene and grooming, but we'll see. But with that, that's pretty much the road forward as it relates to teen boys and in this discussion that we're going to have as far as the survival guide. Any discussion points? Any questions?
No questions. I think it's gonna be some great lessons.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to it. It's good to get back into the teaching saddle too, Lisa. I've been missing it, Lisa.
I bet you have.
After this, the Lord is putting on my heart. Be prayerful. I believe we're going to use a pastor that actually Chase, man, God bless you. Chase introduced us to, and this powerful pastor out of, was he Tulsa, Oklahoma? Chase it. Was that Mike?
Todd.
Mike Todd. Man.
I love him.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Chase introduced us to Mike Todd, Lisa.
Okay.
And so after we finish the series on boys, I believe we'll do the series on miracles with Pastor Todd. We'll see. So be in prayer for that. But this is our series. We're gonna be moving and grooving in this teen survival guide over the next week. So, like I said before, invite your friends, invite parents, invite teens. And if they come, I know they're going to be blessed. And if they don't come, we're going to pray for them anyway. We're going to keep on moving, right? All right. God bless y'all. I turn you over to a Queenie.
All right. Well, thank you, Manny. Beautiful job on the intro. And definitely looking forward to the discussions that are going to come from this series. I've been looking forward to this one ever since.
You want to do them? You going to do them?
I think you should have the men do them. I did the ladies. So ever since we did the young ladies, I've been looking forward to what we're going to do for the young men.
I'm messing with you. We're gonna do them.
So with that, are there any prayer requests or testimonies?
Yeah, we're gonna pray. We're gonna pray for Vaughn to get to the meeting on time. Let me turn. My bad, Vaughn. I'm messing with you. I'm gonna stop the recording.